Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's webinar from Annika Digital. Hi, everybody. It's me, Anne Stanley. I'm the founder and CEO of Annika, and I'm your host today. And I'm very pleased to welcome Gurpreet. Hi, Gurpreet.
Morning, Anne. Hi, everybody.
Now, usually Gurpreet is my co-host and is running all the polls and everything. But today, she's actually the speaker, and she's going to be talking about email marketing, which is amazing. So Gurpreet is actually one of our trainers on the DMI course, and I'll get Gurpreet to introduce herself in a minute. But she's a regular email marketer, as she's our marketing manager at Annika. So before we get going, a bit of housekeeping. So first of all, the webinar should finish just before 10. I'm going to disappear in a minute after we've done the polls and the introductions. You should be able to go and grab the handouts top right and download those. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them while Gurpreet's talking. And we are going to start with a poll in just a minute, which Gurpreet will run. Also, the video will be available. It takes a couple of hours to process, so you should have it by about lunchtime. And I think that's everything. Have I missed anything? I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, Gurpreet. Well, if you want to run the poll first, that would be amazing.
Brill. So the poll should have just popped up on your screen, and it's: have you used email marketing for your business or personal purposes before? And it's an A, yes, I've used email marketing. No, I haven't used email marketing. And C, I don't know what email marketing is. Help. Which you're in the right place for.
Now, interestingly, we've done a few surveys on this, and it's usually the first type of digital marketing that most people use because it's been around for so long. So, things like using MailChimp or perhaps even buying an email platform is really, really common. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of yeses. So what's the data showing us, Gurpreet? What's the numbers look like?
75% have said yes, 21% have said no, and a couple people have said not sure what it is.
Excellent. Okay. Well, if you want to share your slides, and I can tell you if they're working okay, and then I can disappear and you can get on and do your introduction. Yep, it's currently on preview mode. So if you want, excellent, that's it. So I'll see you in about 40 minutes, okay?
Brilliant. Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody, and thank you for joining today's session. So today we're going to be going through email marketing essentials from basics to hopefully brilliance by the end. So just a quick agenda of everything we're going to be covering. We're going to be going through a bit of introductions about who Annika are. Then we're going to be going through exactly email marketing in 2023. So what are the benefits of it? What are the types of emails that you might be receiving? We're going to be going through the 8 key steps to setting up your own strategy, and then email design. And then right at the end, we're going to be going through email automation. So just a quick introduction into who I am. My name is Gurpreet Pure, and I'm a senior digital marketing exec here at Annika. I've been at Annika now for just over a year, and I'm also a trainer on the DMI course as well. As Anne mentioned just before we started, I handle all the email marketing from Annika's side. So this is obviously a good point to start at. And it's also where if you've ever received an email from Annika in the last year, most likely it's from me. So who are Annika Digital? So we've been established since 2007. So we've got over 15 years of digital marketing experience. We've got 23 very talented members of this team. We work with over 40 clients spanning across multiple sectors, and we provide over 7 services. So this is just a quick overview of all of our team. So as you can see there, we've got 3 directors, which is Anne, who you've just met, Darren and Angie. We've got our SLT members at the top, and then we've also got a technical and support team at the bottom there. So we work with a number of businesses across the UK. As you can see, there's some names that are popping up: Eon, Uber for Business, and we provide all our services for them, which I'll go into shortly. So at Annika, we like to use this acronym called POETIC. So this kind of separates all of our different services and channels that we provide. So we cover paid media, owned media, earned media, technical, insights and data, and then also creative services as well. And also recently we've had quite a good year for awards. That's our paid social strategist, Emil, and head of analytics, Ed. And we won 4 UK paid media awards earlier this year, and we're nominated for a few more as well, as you can see. So quite an exciting time. Brilliant. So we've gone through all the intros. Let's dive into why you're actually here. Let's go into email marketing. So why email? It's the return of the investment. On average, every pound spent, you'll receive £35 back. So it's got a great return of investment, and it's a great way to still continue communicating your comms out. It's the instant impact. I think time-sensitive emails work super well, especially with upcoming events like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's a great way to kind of drive your prospects to act faster. Segmentation. It's a great way to send really highly targeted emails to a specific group to begin maybe lead nurturing or sales and begin that process. And I'll go into that shortly in a minute. And also it's the accessibility and device reach. Mobiles have become the most popular medium for opening emails. So gone are the days where you needed to be at a laptop or a desktop to read them. Over 41% of email opens have come from mobile devices. So have you ever received an email like this before? You might receive newsletters or event announcements, which are functional emails. Action-based emails, so this is based all on your behavior. So if you download a specific type of content, you'll most likely receive this email. Have you ever received a happy birthday message or an offer from a company that you're signed up to? This is an individual-based email, and it's all based on your demographic. Sometimes you might receive emails where you are based in the life cycle of the sales process. So you could be a prospect or a first-time buyer, and you might receive an email based on those where you are in that cycle. Also transactional. So these are quite simple emails. So if you were to update your username or your password or purchase something, you might get a transactional email in return. They're quite common as well. So this is an email that I received. In summer, I travelled down to London from Leicester, which is where I live. And this is a transactional email. It's very simple. It's just a purchase of confirmation. But instead of quite a simple email, what Trainline have done is they've mapped out everything that I needed to know. So from the details of my account, if I needed to visit, which is there, all the way down to what time I'm travelling and date, where I'm travelling from and to. Also, even if I needed to book a taxi, that's how I do it. I just simply press that call to action there. So it's just a really simple email displaying everything that I needed to know about my journey down to London. So that's a great example of a transactional email. So email strategy. How exactly do you begin building a list? So a subscriber list is simply all the contacts who wish to receive your emails. So the main objectives of it is to build and maintain relationships with an audience, drive engagement and conversations about your business, increase sales and conversations and conversions. And there's 2 methods of granting this permission. So you could use single opt-in. So this is simply where the subscriber would fill in their email address and they're straight in your list without no additional confirmation. Or you could use double opt-in, and this is where a prospective subscriber submits their email address and then they'll automatically get another email to their email address confirming this. So we'll go into this in a bit more detail. So with single opt-in, the advantage is it's so much easier for the subscriber. They simply enter in their email address and that's it. They're straight in onto your list. It's also a faster method for you to grow your list. It's a one-step process, so you're most likely to get higher conversions. Unfortunately, though, there are some disadvantages that come with it. It's a lower email deliverability rate. Because you're not double-checking the email address that's coming onto your subscriber list, it's more likely to have typos or be recycled spam traps, and it could be filled with bots as well. This ultimately results in a lower quality mailing list. So the emails that you're sending to this list, it might not even be delivered because it's filled with inactive email addresses, bots, and email addresses filled with typos. So this is an example here. As you can see, this is from a fashion brand. simply what you do is you put your email address in, you sign up, and you're in the list. That's it. No additional confirmation is needed from your side. So what exactly is double opt-in? Double opt-in advantages are its longer term quality. So you're growing a list that is quality leads. You know these people on your list want to be on there and genuinely want to read your comms. High deliverability. So with emails being double checked and added, emails are less likely to bounce or filter into spam because they're genuine email addresses. The disadvantages, though, is that it takes more time to grow the list. Because you are double checking these email addresses, it's harder for bots and spam traps to come through, which I think is actually a good thing. But also, it's important that you maintain that engaging content, otherwise you might risk people unsubscribing. But I think ultimately, if you want to grow a quality list with high deliverability, you'd go for double opt-in. If you want to learn a bit more about GDPR, I've left this link just here. If you want to go to the handouts, the PowerPoint deck will be there, easy for you to click onto. So here is just a simple example that I found from Etsy of double opt-in. Simply just confirm your email, and that will take you straight to your inbox to confirm that you actually want to be on that subscriber list. So what exactly are the 8 key steps for email strategy? So you want to set your email goals. You want to pick the necessary email marketing tools, which are called ESPs, which are email service providers. You want to select the appropriate list building tactics, who's actually receiving the email, dividing those that you want to receive the email into segments, which are groups. You want to be able to test the email, so we're going to be going into A/B testing. You want to be creating a schedule for sending your emails, and then you want to be optimizing and monitoring your emails post-send as well. So let's go through the setting the email goals and the types of emails that you'd be wanting to send. So in order to start the process, it's important to set these goals just to know exactly what you want to achieve before setting out the campaign. So you want to be defining the category, the objectives, and the results that you want the email to achieve. So for example, I've put down the unsubscribe rate of this email list is to be maintained at a certain percentage for this loyalty email. That way I've set out my goal and I can keep track of it throughout the campaign. So the 5 ways that you could define your goals are through the awareness, the lead nurturing, increased engagement, the loyalty and retention, and then the increased ROI. So selecting exactly what type of email you want to send and what the messaging of this email is essential for this part. So let's start with awareness. Only some subscribers on your email list are ready to purchase. Others have just joined. So you want to start by increasing the awareness of your brand and keeping them engaged with it. Be aware that the volumes of subscribers that you're receiving, so try not to overwhelm them. The contents of awareness emails could include newsletters, sale emails, so weekend deals, that kind of thing, educational content, so how-to guides, and then finally, welcome emails. So here you can see a typical Annika newsletter. So this is our most recent one from Halloween. As you can see, this is it's divided into 3 sections. It's divided into blogs, webinars, and then some award news. So this is just simply highlighting everything that we've done in the last month, any new blogs that we've published, how you can sign up for our next webinar, and just basically keeps all of our subscribers up to date with our latest news. From here, they can investigate other blogs, which is there's a call to action just there saying check out other blogs. And it's also a great opportunity for them to get to know our members of the team as well, because we've got links to their personal profiles. So lead nurturing. Lead nurturing emails are to accelerate the interest in a certain product or service. These emails are a bit more upfront and focused around the purchase intent. Avoid sending lead nurturing emails to new subscribers because it could be quite discouraging. You don't want to ask somebody to marry you on the first date, so you want to ease it in gently. So contents of these emails would be copy like buy now, get in touch, add to the cart, and shop now. Just be wary of how frequently you send these emails. You don't want to overwhelm them again. And here's an example that I took from Baxter's Eyewear. So this product here was in this subscriber's wish list and would love to see it go in your cart. And then it's just a simple call to action with the shop now there. So what's loyalty and retention? Loyalty and retention emails are built on deepening the relationship with your subscribers. So at this point, they've most likely purchased. So it's keeping them on side and keeping them engaged with your brand, even post-purchase. The aim of this is to increase the lifetime value and repeat sales, as there are several methods for building loyalty. You could use subscribers' data as a way to feed back to them. You could use demographic data like birthdays or special event reminders. I think Bloom and Wild do a perfect example of this. Every year around my birthday, I'll get a lovely email saying, because you've been such a great customer, they're a flower company, and because you've been such a great customer, and it's your birthday coming up, here's a certain discount off this type of flowers, or have a bunch of flowers on yourself. So they're really good at treating their customers, and again, it's making me want to go back to the brand and purchase from them again. So this is a really great example from Spotify. Spotify are brilliant at using a subscriber's data to feed back to them. So as you can see, this is an email based around the release of Kylie Minogue's new album. She's written a personalised message saying, thank you to all my top listeners on Spotify. You're one of them. I'd love to give you access to my new album. And she's given a fans first preview into that. So it's a great way to build that relationship from Spotify, but through the artist itself. So Kylie's even written a personalised message. It's very tailored towards this person's listening habits. And it's giving them access to something that not everybody's got first. Again, building that retention of a repeat purchase and user of this brand. So what are email service providers? Email service providers are an online platform or interface that allow you to manage the elements surrounding your email campaign. Most ESPs are cloud-based, which removes the burden of using Office servers to maintain emails. Some key features of ESP managers: template builders. So MailChimp is great for this. If you've ever used MailChimp, their free version or their paid version, they offer a brilliant template builder where you can build your own email through the ESP. You can actually test your email on these providers. So A/B testing is the most popular forum for that. You can carry out segmentation, management of all your lists, and then also you can go through metrics management. So most ESPs provide a really in-depth report post-purchase, post-email being sent out. So it will go through the click-through rates, the engagement rates, unsubscribe rates, etc. And then also automation, which I'll go through later on in this deck. So as you can see, there's quite a few email service providers available. You've got MailChimp, which is the most popular in my opinion. HubSpot's very popular. At Annika, we use Constant Connect, which is brilliant as well. MoveSend. So there's quite a few out there that provide free packages and paid. So how do you grow a list of email addresses? So there's a variety of ways. You could use gated content. This requires an email address to access a certain piece of content. You could use website elements that serve really well to prompting the person on your website to sign up for your emails. So this is through pop-up banners, light boxes, CTAs, that kind of thing. So if you go onto the Annika website, if you hover around for a minute or two, a pop-up will appear for our booklet Integrate, and through there you can sign up and it will allow you content, but from there we've got your email address. Email signatures. So I think this is a really great way. If on your email signature you can actually add a call to action which takes that person to a sign up page for your content. Also using CTAs on social media pages. So Facebook has a great feature where you can sign up on the actual Facebook page and it will feed through to an email list. And then finally, referral programs. This is a great way to get your subscribers to become an advocate for your brand and share your brand's message. So I just mentioned a little bit about Integrate. So as soon as you click on our website, that pop-up will appear. And essentially what you get to do is you get to fill in all your details. And once you've filled in all your details, you can access our free Integrate book. Very simple way of collecting email addresses, but also getting people to engage with our new product, which is this free book. So what's defining audience segmentation? So there's 4 ways you could look at it. There's demographic. So this is the most essential information of the subscriber. This could be from their age to their gender to if they're married or not. There's geographic, which refers to the subscriber's location. So it allows you to send more targeted emails depending on their region, their city, or their country. There's psychographic. So this focuses more into their interests and their hobbies, and more detailed approach into looking into their personality. So this would include interests, hobbies, their social classes and beliefs. And then finally, behavioural. So this is how they behave on your website. Are they visiting a certain page for longer? Are they quite loyal to the brand? Which user purchasing behaviour are they going through? What's their usage rate of your social media? That kind of thing. So how do you select an audience segmentation? So there's various ways of selecting this. So you could go through demographic, which is the age and the gender and marriage status. You go through email engagement. You could do an active versus inactive list of subscribers. You could look at what stage they're at in the sales cycle. So are they a first-time buyer? Are they a lapsed customer? Are they very loyal to the brand? You could go through their website behavior. So I am notorious for getting emails saying you've abandoned this in your cart. Please come back to the website and purchase it. You're almost there. So all those are website behavior emails. So that could even go down to what content you've downloaded, what video you've viewed, and popular landing pages as well. So psychographic, which you've just mentioned, so preferred content to interact with. What's their email stats look like? What specific content are they clicking through, and what's their unsubscribe rates like? Their purchase history, this is quite interesting. So looking what they've purchased before and seeing and recommending new products that they might be interested in. Geographic location, so where exactly they are based in the country or the world, and the appropriate times to send them an email. You don't want to be sending them an email in the middle of the night, which we'll go into shortly. The customer type, so are they a prospect or a loyal customer, etc. And when's the time that they last purchased? How frequently do they buy, or are they completely gone? They've never visited since. And also their budget, the amount spent. So if they're spending from £0 to £50 on your website, most likely you'd recommend products in that region rather than something a bit more expensive. So how do you test an email? Quality control is vital before sending out any email, just because you can resolve any potential issues that may arise. So numerous methods to test an email, and this goes down to the elements of the actual email itself. So you could test the subject lines, the email copy, the images, the offers, the call to actions, just to understand your subscriber more. So A/B testing is something you'll come across quite a bit, especially on email service providers. This is the most popular forum for testing emails. So A/B testing is a head-to-head test of 2 specific elements and to see which email performs the best. So most ESPs provide this. So the top tips for A/B testing includes testing only one element at a time. You don't want to be testing more than one, then it will just completely overcomplicate the test, and you won't know which one caused the email to perform better. You want to be able to split your sample size fairly and randomly just to create a fair test. You want to test both the emails exactly the same time, exactly the same day, just because it creates the fair test and allows the results to be more fair. And also give time for the A/B test to collect data. So this can take from days to weeks, but just make sure that you give it enough time to gather some really good rich data. So I found this blog, which was really insightful on how exactly all the steps to carry out an A/B test. On the PowerPoint deck, it should be there as well. So scheduling emails. Consistency is vital with emails. As soon as the subscribers joined your mailing list, it's really good to follow the same structure, just so they know where you're at with the brand. And most ESPs provide a really good scheduling tool. So top tips for scheduling: identify the top days and times to send your email. So at Annika, we've tested numerous days, but we think that Wednesday at around 9 to 10 o'clock is the best day. But that's not the same for everybody. That's just what we found. You could run an A/B test to find out the best times. Consider the time zones. I mentioned before, you don't want to be sending people emails in the middle of the night. So use metrics, open rates, and click-through rates to determine the best times and dates. So how do you optimize and monitor an email post-send? So once you've sent out your emails, the results will begin to show. So optimizing an email will ensure that the messaging is working successfully. So there's multiple ways of optimizing an email throughout its campaign. So choosing a recognizable sender name is key. At Annika, we always use Ann at Annika, which adds more personality rather than info at Annika or sales at Annika. The subject line should be really concise and relevant. This is the first impression that your brand is giving to the reader. So make sure it grabs their attention because you've not got it for very long. And also try and make it personalized. Make your copy as personalized as you can. CRM and ESP tools allow you to add subscriber names to the email, which again gives it a more personal approach and deepens that relationship. And also email optimization is key. Like we mentioned before, mobile is the most popular medium for opening emails. And then also I've added in another blog just detailing a bit more steps on how to optimize an email. So what are the good metrics and bad metrics that you should be looking at? So positive metrics would include a positive open rate, positive click-through rate, increased conversion rate, an increase in opt-in to your subscriber list. And the negative ones would include a soft bounce, hard bounce, opt-ins, opt-outs, complaints, spam, unsubscribes, that kind of thing. There are a number of key formulas to work out exactly how something is defined as positive or negative. So I've included all the key email marketing formulas in this website. So post-email, email hygiene. This is quite an interesting term. Email hygiene is simply just removing any invalid, undeliverable and bounced email addresses from your email list. So email hygiene allows you to improve your sender reputation, reduces the chance of landing in the spam folder. It boosts your engagement rates because you're filtering out all the undeliverable email addresses. So the top tips for keeping your email list squeaky clean is the frequent cleaning. Make it as frequent as your emails are going out. You don't want to be gathering up a big list for you to go through at the end of the month. If you send out weekly emails, maybe do it at the end of each email, but just something that doesn't create a big chore for you. Removed bounce and invalid accounts. This is key. As soon as you see one, just get rid of it straight away. If it's bounced, chances are it's going to stay bounced. It can be really difficult to let go of unengaged accounts, but this is what email hygiene is for. You can filter them into a segment group and just let go of them. If they're not engaging, they're not engaging. And use double opt-in. It will help you out so much in the long run because you're getting genuine email addresses coming through rather than bots and undeliverables and typos and things like that coming in. And make it really easy for the unsubscriber to unsubscribe on the actual email itself. This will save you a job. And if they don't want to be a part of your comms anymore, this gives them that opportunity too. You'll still have their email address, but they'll be segmented into an unsubscribe list. So how do you minimize the bounces and the unsubscribe rates? So you need to look at your email content. Is this exactly what my subscriber has signed up for? Is it relevant to them? Make sure you make email campaign reports your best friend. So after every report, I always like to deep dive into the report and see exactly why did that unsubscriber unsubscribe? Why did that person not receive the email? Did it bounce? You can go through this in several different metrics. Deliverability problems. So if somebody hasn't received our email, I always double check for typos, making sure there's any bounce problems, making sure that the sender was actually the right sender to their email address and it all matches. Also, email preference centers are a great way to filter down precisely what the subscriber wants you to send them. So right here, this is an example, and this is a email preference center. So you might have seen these before, and it's just asking you simply a bit more, what kind of content are you interested in, and how often do you want to receive them? This kind of helps you manage exactly what your unsubscriber wants and minimizes those unsubscribes. So we've spoken about everything to do with bounce rates and unsubscribes. Now we're going into email components. So the email design can be broken down into 6 key parts: the sender name, who you're sending it from, the subject line, which is that first line that the subscriber will read about your brand. It needs to be really compelling and concise, straight to the point. The email copy, this is the actual text in the email. It should be written for scanning, no essays. You've probably got their attention for a few seconds, so make it really easy to scan. The imagery, try to use imagery where it's appropriate. If you're selling a specific product or service, try and include imagery just to break the text up a little bit more. The CTA, which is the call to action, this is the desired action that you want your subscribers to do. So, for example, I showed you the Annika email just before. If we've mentioned a blog, we'd like a call to action straight to our landing page highlighting the rest of our blogs. The call to actions placement should really be at the top, the middle and the bottom, just because it's easier to be seen. And then finally, an alternate reply address. So some ESPs allow the email to be sent from one account, but then if the subscriber was to reply, it'd feed back to another. So for example, I've put an example name, a company name would go straight to a subscriber. The subscriber would write back, but this would automatically go into inquiries, just to save this person from getting bombarded with emails. But also if it is a general inquiry, it goes through to the right email address. So here is a great example of an email that covers everything really nicely. I love the copy on this. Really simple. The imagery kind of just does the talking for it. I know straight away it's a sale. It's 50% off. Very quick. It's your last chance to grab gifts before they're gone. And then a simple call to action at the bottom. So what are good practice for subject lines? So subject lines, we've spoken about it before. It needs to be so concise. It needs to add some kind of urgency or a deadline, just because it will prompt the subscriber to read the email and go through its desired actions. So some examples include, I researched some really compelling subject lines, and these are the ones that came up. So JetBlue are an American airline company, and they've made a subject line, they've written it, and it says in brackets, so your name would appear there, you're missing out on points. So I presume that's loyalty points or air points. So this is highlighting that fear of missing out. It's driving them to click on the email, and it's also adding a bit of personalization in there as well. HP, stop wasting money on ink. If you know, printer ink can be notoriously expensive, so it's really addressing the pain points that a customer might face. It's prompting them to open the email. Target, which is the American retailer, they've mentioned the price dropped for something in your cart. So this is a retargeting method. This is remarketing their own data back to them. So the subscriber's probably gone onto the Target website, added something to the cart, left the website, didn't make a purchase. And what Target's done is it's reached out to that person again and said, hey, you've got something in your cart, come back and visit us. And then finally, at Annika, we use ann@annika.co.uk, and then our subject line is #AskAnnika, what's new in digital marketing. So this here is keeping the subscriber up to date with everything digital marketing. And also it's quite curious. It's adding curiosity to the subject line because it's using a rhetorical question. So is this good practice or bad practice? So for this example, we're going to be looking at the email copy, the imagery, and the CTA. So this is the first example. As you can see, the image is clearly doing the talking on this email. It's mapped out across the screen. You've got a nice a header there. The copy, very straight to the point, I think, very simple. And then the call to actions at the bottom. So this, I'm hoping a flood of goods have come through to the chat, as I can't see the screen, but this would be a very good practice of an email. The email copy has just got a single goal. It's very strong sentences, very straightforward to scan. I know exactly what they're selling straight away. And it links really nicely to the call to action. The imageries become the centerpiece of this email without it being overbearing, and it demonstrates the product really nicely. And then the call to action is really simple as well, and it's got great placement on the email. So again, is this good practice or bad practice? So for this example, we're looking at, again, the email copy, the imagery, and the call to action. So straight away, I can see there's a lot going on. I know it's a Father's Day sale, but I don't actually know what company it's for. A lot is happening. I can see they offer a lot. I'm hoping that a flood of bad practices have come through on the chat. So the email copy, there's so many messages at once. I don't really know where I'm meant to be looking first. An email is really meant to guide your eye line through, and this feels like a bit of a mess. There's a lot of colours happening. There's a lot of call to actions happening. It's all going off at once. The image actually distracts you from the rest of the copy. It doesn't really scream what exactly this store does straight away. And I get what they've tried to do by making it more personable approach, but I think it distracts you from the rest of what the email should be. Maybe a picture of the actual product or something along those lines would go a much further way. It seems that they've tried to do everything at once, which has resulted them into using quite a generic photo. And then finally, the call to actions. How many CTAs can you see? Because I have lost count. There is quite a few. There's all these here, as you can see, going through each one of their products categories. You've got more on guides, more send and gift card. There's some CTA there. It's just a bit of a mess. And then finally, the last one is this good or bad practice? So this example, again, we're going to be looking at the email copy, the imagery, and the CTA. So this is from Spotify. So Spotify are really good at sending frequent emails to their subscribers, especially if you're premium. I noticed that you get a few more since I've gone premium, just because they're using my own data and sending it back to me. So it's coming up to that time of year where Spotify really like to create something called Spotify Wrapped. So all year they collect your listening habits, what songs you've been listening to, what audiobooks, what podcasts, and they send that information back to you as a nice little wrap up of the year. So this is from last year's or the years before, and it's telling the subscriber, you've listened to this many minutes of Spotify, guess which song you listen to the most. Dig into the music that made your year, take a look. People love that personal approach. It's using personalization and really tailoring it to them. But in terms of the email copy, I think it's really clearly laid out. I'm hoping a good practice has flooded the chat box. But I think the copy is really simple. My eye line has been guided from top to bottom. I can see that it's really concise. It's taken the subscriber's data as the primary image, which is always quite compelling anyway. The imagery, it's really nice. It's using the brand colours and it's linked back to Spotify Wrapped. And then finally, the CTA is really simple. It's a clear direction on where the subscriber should click next and what they should act on. So what are the main design tips? So brand synergy is king. The email design is a mini web experience and it's an extension of your brand. So make sure it follows the same brand guidelines. So this could be the colours, the typography, and the imagery. You don't want it to look like a completely different brand just because it's simply an email. Personalization is a key to your success. So the more personalized it can be, the better. The most successful emails are personalized. Even adding simple things like adding their name in can really drive engagement. A clear and concise email copy. You don't want it to be an essay, really simply straightforward to scan. You've not got the reader's attention for very long to make it worthwhile. Mapping out the elements, this is key. So making sure it's got a really clear layout. The email anchor, the anchor email really clearly maps out exactly the blogs, the webinars, and then any awards, news, new starters, that kind of thing. Each section has got its own dedicated spot on the email. And also don't forget about don't forget about mobile. Make sure your email is optimized for mobile. So try using images that fit within the screen. 600 pixels width tends to be the guideline for that. And ESP will help you build this. So if you build something for desktop, it would automatically optimize it for a mobile. So make sure that you've optimized it, because the last thing you want is somebody opening up your email on a mobile and it looks a real mess. And we're going on to the last section of today, which is email automation. We're going to be going through the benefits, the conditions, and then some examples at the end. So what are the benefits of marketing automation? So this significantly enhances the efficiency of your email communication. So by using an email service provider, you can actually create an automatic trigger response. So every time a subscriber makes an action, an email will be sent based on that. So there's several benefits surrounding marketing automation. It's time saving. It's all automatic. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but once it's set up, it's a trigger response, and it can really allow you to focus on other things. Data management, it really assists the team in managing their time, but also the data that they can use that is segmented and managed can be transferred to other departments. So sales can take a specific segment group and begin contacting them depending on their action. It improves the personal experience. So having a personalized approach, marketing automation really supports that and just enhances that subscriber's use of your emails. It's a cost-effective solution. Most ESPs provide this. I believe that MailChimp offer this. So it's a cost-effective solution to really saving you some time. So marketing automation in creating a sequence. So a sequence should be very simple and built from a series of steps that include the entry points. So this is the start of the sequence. This includes any website activity, contact details, a form submission, or email activity. There should be conditions. So the four main conditions are adding a delay, waiting until, if else, an A/B split, which I'll go into shortly. And then the action. So it should be two options at the end, one alternative to another alternative. So I'm using this as an example. This is the if else condition example. So if else is a popular condition which allows you to segment contacts within your workflow. The contacts are divided into two branches. So subscriber meets this condition and they didn't meet this condition. So as you can see, we've got the entry point to this trigger here, and this is a website purchase. Here is an if-else condition. So did they make their first purchase? Yes. They've got an email with a coupon, and then no, they're just added to a loyal customers list. Action for no. So there's two options depending on their action there. So scheduled reminders. So this is a great example of a trigger response, all automatic. So home and car insurance companies are notorious for sending these. So as you can see, this car is due its first maintenance. You'll probably get an email saying book a service straight away. I really like the design of this email. It's really clearly mapped out. I know exactly the next steps that I should go as a subscriber. The next kind of marketing automation example is a transactional email. So Uber are brilliant. They're email marketing geniuses when it comes to transactional emails. Every time you purchase an Uber Eats delivery or you've traveled by Uber, you'll automatically get your receipt sent to you as soon as you leave the car. So if you've ever used this service before, this will probably look quite recognizable. As you can see, it's exactly what you've spent in Uber, how long the distance was, and then breaking down the journey as well. And then lastly, these are post-review emails. So if you've ever visited any e-commerce stores, like any shopping websites like ASOS or Boohoo or anything along those lines, and you've purchased from them, you'll most likely get a follow-up email asking you to review exactly what you've just purchased. So this customer here has ordered some trainers. They've now been delivered to them. They've got them, and it's their chance to review them. If you weren't too happy with them, you've got customer care option there as well. So it's giving them the option to follow up. But that leads us to the end of today's presentation. I've listed all the references that I've used, and then also some really useful links in there as well. But that's everything. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'd be happy to take any questions. Oh, I think you're on mute, Anne.
Hey, that's better. There wasn't that many questions actually. There was quite a lot of comments around the examples, particularly the most people didn't like the second one. I think I think most people preferred the first out of the three, actually. I've just stuck up the reviews so people can give Gurpreet a review for doing this. It's actually her first webinar to an audience. You wouldn't believe it, would you? She did brilliantly today. And lots of great love and response coming through. So thanks, everybody, for doing that. The other thing I wanted to mention, as there's no questions, is the actual Digital Marketing Institute course. We've really been very, very lucky and got a load more funding for January, and we're recruiting now. So if you're based in Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire, Greater Lincolnshire and South Humberside, rather, Norfolk or Suffolk, we're recruiting now. I've got a link for you. This takes you to, let me see if I can find the right page. I did definitely grab it. I won't be able to find it now. I'll have to go and get it again. Let me just grab it again. This takes you to the general page, but if you go to the bottom of the page, what you'll do is you'll find a load of links to each of the different areas, and then there's an application form. So please go and feel free. If not, if you have any queries about the boot camps, then you can actually email at bootcamp@annika.co.uk, and that will allow you, or that didn't work. It didn't like that with an email address, did it? So let me just see if that will work. No, it doesn't like that. So it's just bootcamp, and then it's the @sign, and then it's annika.co.uk. For some reason, it didn't like that. Okay, so we have a question. Do you have a recommendation for an easy-to-use automation platform that is suitable for novices to intuitively build robust and effective automated journeys? Interested to see if you've got an idea on this, Gurpreet.
I think HubSpot is a brilliant place to start. I think they offer great resources as well if you want to get started with building your own automation.
It's expensive, though, if you're brand new.
It can, yeah. I think MailChimp is brilliant as well. Those are my two go-tos, I think, MailChimp and HubSpot. I think a couple of people have said MailChimp as well, yeah. I think MailChimp's template designer as well is brilliant to getting started and building out that sequence and matching all your designs to that. So I think...
Yeah, there's quite a few new ones on the market. I mean, Pipedrive is quite cost effective as a CRM. We've started doing a trial on Go High Level, which we're just doing a trial on now. MailChimp's brilliant for email. It's free for up to 4,000 users. But I think the automation part of it might be part of the paid bit. So I don't know if anybody else is using it. Now that's a really interesting question. Klaviyo. Yeah, Klaviyo is designed specifically for e-commerce. So if you've got an e-commerce website, it's almost most e-commerce clients that we work with are using Klaviyo. And that's definitely really, really popular because it's designed specifically. Interestingly, I don't think it's got a lot more extra features. It's just it integrates so well with things like Shopify, so you can bring your products in really easily. And I think that's why it's so popular. Quite a lot of people are asking me about a lot of others. Dot Digital was one of the first sort of paid ones that came out, very much what MailChimp users would go up to. I'm not sure how much it is, but a lot of these paid packages, you have to pay to get a license, then you pay every month, irrespective of how much you use. And some of them can be quite expensive. So you do need to check into the different versions of it and how, and do a little bit of research. To be honest, I haven't done a market survey of email platforms and marketing automation for a few years. So we bought SharpSpring about 8 years ago, which has changed to Constant Contact. They were bought out by them. And the reason we use that one is it's really good for agencies because you can have multiple accounts. But we are shopping around at the moment and we're trying, I can never remember, was it Just Get Higher? I can never remember how to pronounce it, isn't it? It's a strange, Go High Level. That's the one we're just doing some training on Go High Level. But our colleague Chris, who did the presentation, I think it was last week or the week before on WhatsApp 2 weeks ago on WhatsApp. He was a great SharpSpring user, and he's gone to go a high level, and he rates it really highly. Now I really like SharpSpring, which is now Constant Contact. So based on his recommendation, we're looking at swapping over to that because it's quite cost effective. Mark, a nice message.
Yeah, that's my old lecturer. Yeah, of course I remember you. Yeah, loved your lectures.
It's good that we got the DMU coming in and watching their students lecture. I like that. It's a bit of a reverse engineering here. Just MLM. I don't know. I don't know what MLM stands for. I've not used. Michael, if you could say what MLM, it's automation as well. So it's the CRM and automation. So that's what well. So I'm not sure I haven't seen that expression MLM before. That's really interesting. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else has got any more questions. Lots and lots of comments about different platforms. In the actual DMI day that Gurpreet teaches, you go into the platforms in a little bit more detail, don't you? So it might be something we can do again in the future.
Yeah.
Multi-level marketing. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we don't do much multi-level marketing at Annika. We're usually just working on one website, and where they're just trying to promote it directly to customers. Brilliant. Well, I think unless anybody else has got any questions, I think that's probably it for today. What's next week?
Next week is Holly, who's our head of paid media ops, and she'll be covering, I think, automation with PPC. I think.
Brilliant. So that's for any of the Google Ads fans in the room. She'll be doing that.
Yeah. So look out for that Monday morning.
Isn't it funny? Everybody jumps in and knows exactly what MLM is, except for me. That's really bad. I don't know that. Thanks very much, everybody, and great job, Gurpreet. Brilliant, well done. And you've got lots of love and likes, and hopefully some reviews as well. And we will see you all next Friday. So you'll get the recording in a couple of hours. So see you then. Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.